Account balance versus transaction history. What do visa officers really look at? So I have many people come to me and tell me, I have money for my study, I have enough money for my tourist application, and when they send their bank statements, you see they have a huge closing balance, but when you look at their banking history or account history, it doesn't explain how they arrived at the huge funds that they have in their bank account. So visa officers don't only look at your closing balance. So if you think you can just push in a lump sum into your account and you think your visa will be approved, that may not be the case anymore. Maybe in the past, but now things have changed. So visa officers look at your closing balance, they look at your transaction history, how does money come into your bank account. In fact, they check the opening balance, the closing balance, and the transaction history. I had a client that the visa officer picked one transaction, just one transaction in his bank account, and they used that to query his source of funds. Just one transaction. He had good closing balance, good transaction history, but they just picked one transaction and queried it and asked questions about it. And that became an issue, which at the end of the day we actually sorted out. So what I'm trying to say is that visa officers don't just look at your closing balance alone, they look at your transaction history. So if you are planning to study in Canada, you are planning to visit Canada, you need to be careful about people paying in money into your account. Many times when they see payments that maybe is not regular, or payments that which maybe it's a lump sum that comes into your account that is not really regular, you don't see it every month, and maybe you did not explain it, they can assume that you just got people to pay into your account just to show that you have funds. They would just assume, many times they just assume that that money is not yours. You got people to pay money into your account so that you can show that you have the funds when you don't really have the funds. So don't be bothered about just your bank balance. No, also be bothered about your transaction history. How is the money in your account, how did it come by? What are the credit alerts that came into your account that made your balance to be what it is? It is very important. So don't overlook your transaction history. Don't assume that visa officers will only look at the balance. They don't look at balance alone. They look at transaction history, they look at balance, they look at opening balance, they look at closing balance, and everything about your bank statement is very important. So if you want an approval, you want your visa to be approved, you need to watch that and do what they want. Give them what they want, and you have a high chance of getting the visa that you applied for. If you want more info or you want to apply for a visa, you need guidance on what you need to do, you can reach out to me. My WhatsApp number is +1 587 568 6124.